All right, we're back. Week 4, Set 2, SWYK 2 notes. All right, we're talking about dividing. Whoa, lock it in place, man. What you doing? Okay, so we're talking about the domain of the function when we divide those two. Well, so first of all, we need to actually, show what you get when you divide them. Well, that's right there. But then we need to realize something. The denominator is where you find problems with the domain. Now, there are other types of domain problems, which we can get into when we start doing things like radicals. But for now, let's just talk about denominators. Think about this. If you have something like 1 over x, what's the only number in the universe that you can't put in the bottom there? You can't put a 0 in there because 1 divided by 0 does not work. Big things, implosions, explosions, the world ends. Okay? Not a good thing. You cannot divide by 0. That's not the same thing as this. 0 over 1. No, that's 0 itself. Okay? 0 over any number is 0. Okay? And don't try to get all tricky with me. What about 0 over 0, Mr. Stibb? No, don't get all ugly on me there. Okay? But you cannot have 0 in the denominator. Well, is that the case for this particular function? Well, no, but what we do is we take the factor and we set it equal to 0. Because this will help us find the exception. Now we're going to figure out exactly what the problem is. In this case, it won't be 0. Now, if you add an x to both sides, now I know that sounds kind of weird that you're moving the x and not the 9, but it kind of saves me some trouble here because we end up with x equals 9. The x would be over on this side and the 9 would be left on this side. So now we know that x is 9. So 9 is the problem, okay? As the Germans would say, 9! Okay, but we actually do mean the number 9. If you were to look at the graph on a calculator, you would find out that 9 is impossible. So what we want to say is any real number except 9. Any real number except 9. And so that's what you're getting at with that information that we just figured out. Okay, next question. When you subtract 2, and they want me to find the domain when we subtract 2 equations. The basic idea that you're looking for, no matter whether we're adding or subtracting or multiplying or dividing, you have to pay attention to denominators. We haven't messed with any radicals, so we're not talking about those kind of problems. We just want to know when denominators are equal to 0. That's what we're focusing on this week. So g of x minus f of x. That's what we're talking about. Well, the g of x function, right? That's this one. Minus the f of x function. That's that one. We're going to distribute that -1 to both. Now, I would like to show you, and I probably need to move my face here, that Math Excel does not like this answer. Even though it is correct, it doesn't like that answer. So Math Excel is going to ask you to get common denominators. And so if you know that x is the denominator, then what we're going to do is we're going to multiply the top and bottom by x. And when we do that, we end up with 2 over x minus 8x over x plus x squared over x. Now that they all have the same denominator, we can put them together. This is the official Math Excel answer. 2 minus 8x plus x, ooh, you can't see that, that's x squared, all over x. I don't know why I can't. Maybe I zoomed out a little too far here. No, not my face. Yes. Okay, clear, slide me back over. Yes, we did have the x squared. That's the official Math Excel. Now, look at that denominator. What's the only number in the universe that you can't put in there? Remember, you set all the factors in the bottom equal to 0 and solve. There's not a whole lot of solving there. It's already equal to 0. So we want everything in the universe except for 0 itself. not a problem. Okay, question 3. What other problems could we have? So first they want me to set up f of x over g of x. I do that. I put the 4x plus 5 on the top. I put the x squared minus 7x plus 12 on the bottom. Now you will need to factor the denominator. And I know that we're going to do a lot more with factoring later. That's why this is very simple. We need to find things that multiply together to give me 12, but add up to negative 7. Now, as you can see from my example, that would be negative 3 and negative 4. I know this takes you back a ways because you haven't done this since Algebra 1. X minus 3 times x minus 4 is what gives me that thing right there. Set each factor equal to 0 and solve. Okay, so the first one would be x equals 3. The second one will be x equals 4. Those two numbers we cannot use because they would cause 0 in the bottom. If you don't believe me, just think about it. If I put 3 minus 3 and 3 minus 4 on the bottom, look, right here, that becomes a 0, and 0 times anything, showstopper, folks, it turns it into 0, and that's a problem in the denominator. So we want every value in the universe except, you guessed it, clear that out. I said clear. Goodness. You guessed it. We want everything in the universe except ding, ding, ding. That one right there. 3 and 4. Factor the denominator and you'll have that answer. And I'm pretty sure that is it for why in the world. Do not laugh at me. Okay. Yep, we're done. All right. Talk to you later. See you in the next video, which is probably just a conclusion and then a final thoughts, and then moving on to week 5.